Hey, what's going on, guys? This right here is current value of my Robinhood account. It's a little bit over 55,000 as of today. It's been a good week. Today we're down. The week I'm up $500. That's just since the last week. The month I'm up, obviously. 3 months I'm way up. You know what? One thing that made me successful, and one thing I'm up on my Robinhood account overall that I've had for just around a year. You see June 22nd. The reason I'm up is because I bought through the whole downturn. I bought on the way down, I bought on the way up, and I'm still buying. And my stocks are still undervalued, I believe. And so I'm going to keep adding to my positions and keep trying to create new positions. And so this was up higher. Actually, it was up about with a $12,000 gain last week, but then it had that big drop there. You can see it, and it's recovering from that drop. But it was I was going up really fast, and I thought it was kind of ridiculous, honestly, because I thought that, though no way was I planning on for those stocks to recover that fast. And so I hope they don't. I want them to recover, but I want them to recover slowly so I can sell options on my positions and not get my strike price being met, which I was in the hole big time because all my strike prices were met when it went up that week, and every day was up. The stock market was up 3-4% every day for like a week, and I was way behind. But I rolled a lot of them over, and I bought a few back, and I only really lost so far. I've only lost one position, which the person owning the option exercised the option early, and he was trying to collect the ex dividend on PPL, and he took it away from me, which is fine, at $29. And since then, the next day the stock dropped down to $26. So it worked out good for me, actually. And I rolled that into a weekly option stock. And one thing I do is I really focus on buying good dividend, so paying 4% to 7% weekly option stocks. So those are what I'm shooting for in my narrow scheme. And I also don't want to have too risky stocks. I mean, I definitely have some risky stocks here, but I'm trying to stay away from the ridiculously risky stocks. And I'm not doing any airlines. I'm not doing any cruise ships. I'm not doing any of that crap. A few banks, but nothing huge. So really quick go over here. Some of my options I have that are expiring this Friday, the 19th, which is 2 days from now. Key Bank, Key Corp, I have one position there. Vicom, I have two. AG&C, I have one. You can see the value on that. Ulterior Group, I have one position, and that strike price is about ready to be met, and so that's why it's at 42 cents. And if it does that, I will probably roll that over to the next week and try to raise my strike price during the rollover. OLN, I have two positions. TNA, I have one position here in my Robinhood account. AT&T, I have two positions. Dow, I have one position. BP, I have one position. PTI is an option I purchased for a small pharmaceutical stock. I was in it's a big whole nother story. We don't want to get into that too much, but it expires on Friday. Pfizer, I have two positions. HPQ, I have one position. ET, I have two positions here on this, expiring on Friday. I have more down below. MET, I have one position. EPD, I have one position here, and that expires on the, so ET, MET expire on the 26th. EPD expires on the 2nd, and the reason why those are farther out because I had to roll them over because the strike price was going to get met, or it looks like it was going to get met at closing. ET, I rolled that up a couple times. It was at 750 actually, and ET ran up on me when I sold the option. It happens sometimes, but I've been able to roll out of it a few times and put it for a higher strike price. And so if it gets close to being met again, I have 10 positions there. I will probably roll it again and try to raise that strike price up to $9, push it back farther. And then I have AIG down below. I'm way behind on, and that is because it ran up really big during the weekend. I raised that strike price a few times. And then UPRO, the same things happened. It rolled up on me a couple times. UPRO took off. I've rolled that a few times, and I've got it up to $42.50 for a strike price. And the rest are a couple of options I own in USO. So just a quick reminder here. So if the phone, when you look at my videos and the phone, it's just the only thing showing there and it's really small. If you hit the full screen, it will full screen at least it does on my phone, it'll full screen the video. Also too, if you don't have a Robinhood account yet and you're looking to join, I'm going to start adding my link down below. If you join, you will get a free stock, and so will I. And so and I'll also, with that, I'll answer any questions down below. It took me about a year to put together this strategy, and I made a lot of mistakes, and I've sold a lot of stocks. I sold a lot of options on stocks, and so it took me a long time to get that. And I made so many mistakes. I could have made a lot more money if I would just know what I was doing, which obviously it takes time to do. And so I would watch as many YouTube videos as you can. I wouldn't necessarily take everybody's advice because no one really here is an expert. They're just showing what they do, and neither am I. But this is a strategy that I believe is going to work for me. I'm going to be able to collect my dividends, as well as collect the upside of my stocks, and then click my weekly options. And on top of that, I'm going to compound all that money I've gained. I'm going to be able to compound all that money I gained, and probably get about a 20% return per year without even including the upside of my stocks. I really try to sell my positions out of the money, meaning I hope my strike price is not going to be met, so I usually are at least 2 deviations out of the money. And a lot of times I'll sell my positions even on Tuesday, Wednesday, and even Thursday. And so, I'm no hurry to sell my options on my covered call options on my stocks, because I do not want my strike prices to be met right now, because I believe all my stocks are undervalued, and I believe they're all going to go up. And so I'm trying to collect money as well as walk that fine line and not lose my shares. And so just a heads up there. So real quick here, these are my positions here. Dow Chemical, 100 shares, 1 position. I have Artillery Group, another weekly option. Both those are weekly option stocks. MET is not an option stock. I'm sorry, my bad. MET is a weekly option stock. I own 1 position. Pfizer, I own 2 positions. Main Street, I own 1 position, and that is not an option stock. That is just a dividend stock, and I got that around $24. I thought it was very good, and I knew it was on sale, and so I'm going to be able to collect about 10% on my money for as long as I keep those shares. And so, and as that stock's gone up, from 24 close to 34, it's quite a bargain for me. And it pays obviously a monthly dividend on that. AIG, I own 1 position. AT&T, I own 2 positions. BP, 1 position. Viacom, I own 2 positions plus some extra shares. I've got to sell in for those 33 shares. I'm going to roll that into the stock here at the very bottom. I'll talk about it at the end. EPD, I own 1 position. HPQ, which is HP, I own 1 position. AG&C, I own 1 position. And AG&C, unlike most REITs or any type of stock like that, it is a weekly option stock. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I own it. AG&C is not necessarily the smartest investment in the world, but I'm going to collect that 10% dividend on top of selling that weekly option. I figured that, that extra $10 a week I pull off of AG&C on top of my monthly dividend is going to be worth my risk. And so that's why I own that 1 position of AG&C. I owned some PSEC before, and I rolled my PSEC stock shares into AG&C because of being able to sell a weekly option on that. KeyBank, I own 1 position. OLN, I own 2 positions. That's a chemical company. ET, I own 12 positions on that, and it's at 808. And we talked about that there at the top of and I own a lot of ET. I'm always holding that, letting that climb up, collect that weekly, hopefully that weekly option, covered call premium, as well as collecting those high dividends on ET. UPRO, I own 1 position, and that is covered up there, and I'm trying to get out of it, try to roll out of it. TNA, 1 position, it's right there, and you can see it's at 26.38. And then FHN, I have 3 stocks. I'm going to roll those out, actually. It's, look at it real fast here. It's First Horizon National. It's actually a monthly insurance stock, my bad. a monthly option dividend stock, and so that's why I'm probably going to roll out of it. I just have a few shares. I'm going to purchase all that. I'm going to roll into PAA, which is my newest stock I am coming down on this week. I'm going to try to get into a full position tomorrow by selling my 33 shares of I have in Viacom, as well as the extra money I have, and then the few shares I had there in Horizon. And I'm going to try to get a full position on that this week, and so I can sell a covered call on it next week. And you can see right here, it is a weekly option stock, and right there, that's today's Wednesday night, and so it's $10 for a $10 strike price. It's paying 23 cents. And then next week, that's this week, so there's 2 days left in the week here, so that's pretty good actually. And then it's got a lot of volatility. So basically how you get, so this is kind of a catch-22, how you get good premiums on your stocks is you have to own volatile stocks, and so it's a real fine line, and you got to find what stocks you're comfortable in owning and you're collecting those premiums on. And I think I'm missing some stocks. I'm really trying to focus on the dividend stocks that are paying really good premiums. I'm probably going to start looking into that a little bit more and try to maybe not necessarily chase the dividend stocks, because I believe I can make way more money on my premiums than I do my dividends. And so, but you can see here, and the next week, 25 cents to sell, or even $13 to sell the $11 covered call. As a buy. The buy and the calls are always the same. So if you press on that, and that'd be an 85% chance of not hitting your strike price. And then even, it goes up there. So I'd probably say if I sold this option right now, I would sell it for the $11 strike price and collect that $13.85 out of the money. That's what I would do on this, and that's what I'll probably do next week. It'll be a little bit lower next week because of losing the 2 more days of option on there. So that's where I'm at with that. And this is a brand new one for me. It's Plains All-American Pipeline. I really searched these out. It's got a high dividend, as you can see there. And all the pipelines have high dividends. And so that's another thing. When you're chasing those dividends, you're going to be stuck a lot into energy, financials, REITs, and those are all pretty volatile. And so, it kind of gives you an idea what kind of stocks you'll end up owning, as I see here. And so my goal in the future here is to keep adding positions as much as I can to sell covered calls and collect those dividends, as well as collect those premiums. And so I'm just trying to build more and more positions. And right now I think I have around 65 positions that I can sell. Most of them are weekly. I do have some monthlies, especially in my Charles Schwab account. And so that's where we're at right now. All right, man. Appreciate you watching the video. Again, take a look at my link down below for the Robinhood app. I'll try to add that on this video. And if not, I'll add it to some of the future videos. So if you don't see it there, you can always look at the ones that are newer than this. And then just sign up. And if you have any questions on what I'm doing or how I'm doing it or what my strategy is, feel free to ask. And if you watch some of my older videos, it kind of shows you. I realize the content level here is pretty low as it can get as far as the quality, but the information should be good, And so again, I spent a year putting this together, how to do this. I made hundreds of mistakes and lost a lot of money, but I haven't lost money, but I have the money that I could have made. I've been making mistakes. I didn't know how to roll over an option for 6 months on Robinhood, so I was letting all those expire, and sometimes that could have been a good thing, sometimes it could have been a bad thing, but I wouldn't have had to lose as many stocks that are getting strike prices are being met. And so that's it, guys. I appreciate you guys watching. Take care.